just made by themselves. Just an odd logo, an odd concept.
Yeah.
We're into pick ban.
Yeah, so I'm expecting a Violet ban, certainly, coming on through.
Violet ban, Murad, I would have initially, if this was the beginning of the tournament, I would have said Murad, instant ban, but we've seen so many times these teams are leaving it off the board and no one's picking it up, so, but the Violet seems to be a shoe-in for a ban, but Slims.
Xennial ban as well, I'm calling it. Yeah, Slims gets get banned.
Yeah, Slims gets himself a ban, very powerful marksman, long-range stun, shreds through tanks. There's the Violet though, we expected that to be the first ban, but no, it's going to be the second one.
Fair enough, and there's Xennial that's going to be left open, so maybe that's something that ST are going to look to pick up, because of course they do have that first double pick.
They do have the double pick. You've got to remember, John, still 2 more bans to come through. Are they putting enough pressure on the Xennial to ban it away?
They'll leave the L'Oreal open though. Zill does get banned out as that assassin.
No, they're going to ban out the L'Oreal, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've denied 2 of the most potent AP picks available in the game. So now it means that Raz is open. Zuka being picked away. I feel as though Zuka's incredibly strong. Usually he is banned against them, but it's also a pick against Lover. But they've left the Ryoma through for Lover to take out anyway, and we know how strong he is on that one.
Not too sure about the Arduino early lock-in, but it does go through. Both of those heroes get locked.
Yeah, so that's going to obviously go over to Scott. It's one of his most popular picks. Very strong, has a lot of mobility in there. Knock-up being the most important factor of his kit. That hard, raw CC coming out from Arduino. And then we're looking over to the next phase of picks coming out of MONORI Bacon.
Yeah, pretty sure you want to prioritize the Raz at this point with L'Oreal being banned away. He is the premier mid laner, and he's going to be looking to hover it. But we're waiting to see what else they're going to come out with. Potentially the Malok.
Malok is available, so is Ormar. Although we did see these teams shy away from that in the group stages a little bit more. I think ST didn't really play Ormar, if I recall correctly, or they didn't put much precedent on it. So whether it's picked up by MONORI Bacon still remains to be seen. Very correct with the Malok assumption there. Lock down that tank initiator coming out from the form of Malok. Now what I want to see ST do here is answer with some tankiness, some extra durability of their own. They didn't play, I don't think they played Ormar a lot, but I feel as though Ormar could potentially be a good option here.
I'm feeling Lubu and Telanis in this rotation.
You feel as though they're going to go for that long-range marksman. I mean, if we're talking about resistances, Grak is pure tank. He's one-dimensional. I'm going to tank everything, and I'm going to hook you in, and I'm going to bring the fight to you. So Grak could be a good answer for the strong point. We see a lot of airy play coming out at the moment. Very solid bruiser, hybrid tank, hybrid damage pick that's coming out. I don't think it's the strongest picks in these 2 roles they could take, so I'd like to see him possibly change it up for something a little bit more impactful. They're just going all over the place with these lock-ins.
Yeah, there comes out Fennec being locked in there for ST, but it is going to be Lubu hovered, and I imagine that's going to be locked in. So it was Lubu and a marksman, but not quite right on the marksman.
The wrong marksman, but I like that they've gone for the Fennec instead, because Fennec operates in a similar role to what Slims does. They both thrive on tank shredding, and they have a zoning percent. Where Fennec changes is a little bit more towards the Moran aspect. He has that zoning ultimate available that's going to be dealing that additional damage. So I quite like the Fennec pickup here. It's going to be doing wonders against the Malok, and also the Fane if they decide to lock that in.
MONORI Bacon might be looking to lock in that Telanis themselves as Thane gets hovered as well. A tank and a marksman. They don't have sort of that super tank just yet, but Morad could be hovered as well.
I might go into a coughing fit if Morad gets locked in again like I did yesterday.
There we go. You get a cough? You all right?
No, I'm fine. Cool. I've got it.
I've got your water.
It's not a shock anymore. They didn't insta-lock it. It was just showed it to me. It was presented. I'm aware of it. So Fane and Murad being locked in. Yeah. Extra hard CC, disengage. Engage coming out from Fane. He's also got, one of the things that's often overlooked is his ultimate, but he's very useful at securing kills with the execution from his ultimate, because obviously it scales from missing HP. So it's going to be Grand coming in there. He's going to take the heal just to help out his team.
Okay, Joker gets locked in for ST, so no mage on their side.
It's similar to what they were running in the group stage, the double marksman composition. They ran Joker and Violet, and we saw how well that worked out because they were just roaming these marksmen around and abusing the range advantage they had over these melee champions. And what do you think is MONORI Bacon lacking severely at the moment? It is that range in their abilities. You've got the Raz who can obviously hit those long-range shots, and you've got aspects of mobility on the side of MONORI Bacon, but you don't have that ability to play back and still dish out that damage beyond Mimarks on this Raz.
Yeah, they really don't want to be... They want to be basically going for those fast engages and try and get the early picks, because in an extended fight, ST will just be able to kite them around.
Yeah, if they successfully kite back the damage and whittle them down to the point where they have to commit and die, or they want to try and fall back, ST win the fight because they will get them with the chase down. One thing to note is, what we didn't touch on it, Scott's actually going to be playing that Lubu. No, Scott's on the Arduin. I didn't see actually where they switched around, but Lubu's going to be picked up, and what they're going to do is both Lubu and Ryoma work well in the early laning phase against Zuka. So it's going to be hard for him, and he's going to have to try and maintain a gold lead, or at least try and mitigate how far he falls behind, so he can have some impact in the mid to late.
Well, it's Bacon time. MONORI Bacon face off against ST in the quarterfinal, in our third quarterfinal of the day, facing off for the chance to progress to the semi-final. It's the winner of our next game, but for now, let's get into the first of the set. MONORI Bacon versus ST.
If by some miracle MONORI Bacon make it to the final tomorrow, I definitely think we should have bacon sandwiches on the go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Have a munch on the bacon.
Absolutely. If they win this, should we go get bacon sandwiches after this?
Yeah,
not after this, but after the broadcast.
After the broadcast, we could go and do that.
I'm feeling that. Do you call them baps, sarnies, sandwiches?
Depends on the roll, though. It depends on the bread that sandwiches them.
Okay.
Is the what I dictate.
Okay. Have you ever had a toasted bacon sandwich?
No.
With some cheese as well?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have it in the sandwich. I'd have it in the panini.
That's more of a toaster, yeah, a panini toasty.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. But enough about our culinary experience. It's going to be the start of the game. So no actual early invades coming out from either of these teams. A little bit of a departure from standard, but we've seen STs take a little bit more of a passive style of play across the board.
Yeah, so they're just splitting the jungle, letting Harlan take half of it, letting Zhanyo and Ting take the other half of it. Just gonna try and share out the goal a little bit more. And as you can see, Fane's gonna have to be very careful about where he passes in that bottom side river, because he would walk into two members of the ST lineup.
Fennec taking that mid lane as the marksman. Again, that standard 2-1-2 setup where those double lanes will sort of roam around. Fennec taking the mid-side camps, so the spider and that wolf, to just supplement his income and his XP gain. We'll just be playing quite passively until sort of that 6 minute mark.
This is really feels bad, man, for Zuka. The fact that you've got Joker and Ryoma. So Ryoma would win that lane out early anyway, and then you've got range added to it in the form of Joker to just pepper you with those punchlines. It's a sad time for Zuka to try and take control of anything.
Oh, the stun up onto Zuka, and he's already half HP. They're going to go for the Spirit Sentinel. ST across the map taking down, or starting to take down that Abyssal Dragon. Sherry is there. Doesn't have the punish, only has the heal. It's going to go over to Lover, so they pick up the Abyssal.
There was no way Sherry was going to get that steal. And because ST had stacked their roster on the bottom side of the map, the Abyssal Dragons, so easy to take. It's borderline free at this point. I love what MONORI Bacon are doing, though. They know that Lover is in the lane with Scott, so they've gone for the invade onto the Sage Golem, and they're going to catch someone out potentially.
Or look at the
close
in from ST. They're going to go in and try and find the first blood, but the mobility from MONORI Bacon is so strong. Here comes Sherry to back it up. The double knock-up as well. Hua Lin is going to start to pump out the damage with those ranged autos, which we said ST need to look for these extended team fights. They're doing just that, and they're starting to close it out onto Sherry. First blood goes over to Ting. It will be Sherry to fall. Raz has to fall back. Mura trying to drop the ultimate to get the damage down, but it's not going to be enough. ST get first blood.
Scott immediately kept the marks out of that fight. He dived onto the back line, used the third proc of his one to get the knock up and start damaging him down. He changed the focus of the fight, and he made them split their attention. They could not reinforce their teammates who were dealing with the majority of the ST roster. They're busy falling back, which was the safer option, and it also kept the marks alive. He did actually just fall down, though.
He did.
He just respawned.
Okay, fair enough. So, Lover and Sherry, to be honest, Sherry should be winning this trade against Lover. Obviously, he said he was one of the best off-laners, but I mean, Malok should win that matchup into Lubu, just with the sustain and going for that. But the 2v1 lane, still going not terribly for Remix, and make that a 2 versus 3 as Ting has to fall back underneath the turret. Zhanyo with a nice dash over the wall, able to escape the pincer as well. ST's pincers seem to be a little bit more little bit more vicious.
But look what they've done. They've left Hualin to just take this tower uncontested. So they've cracked open the mid lane 4 minutes into the map. Here comes the Abyssal Dragon with the immediate start.
Hualin's level 8. He is absolutely, he's so far ahead. I mean, we got Moss on level 4. I mean, that's crazy. They're just going to rotate down. They're going to take the Abyssal Dragon. At the moment, ST, their map rotations are so strong. They're playing it perfectly. Sherry just sort of ults onto nothing as they just walk away.
So they're about to get collapsed on in bot lane.
Yeah.
Can Arduin and Lubu get out of what seems like it'd be a sticky situation?
Well, Joker's running around the jungling at the top side, but the action's down in the bot, as it is going to be Scott getting the knock-up, and finally, MONORI Bacon put a kill on the board, and it's going to go over to the Malok. Sherry will find one, but Ting retakes the kills up in the top side. Here's the wave, and continues that pressure in top. Funny, that turret has taken far too much damage in a 2 versus 1.
But that was because of the attention that was placed on Muru taking around to the mid lane and going to the Abyssal Tower. Zuka didn't follow him down, so he had free time in that lane, whereas Zuka's just been clearing the wave underneath his tower.
Hualin probably could have taken that that Might Golem should he have actually auto-attacked. I don't think he expected to be able to get it, especially since Murad has that punish available. 40 seconds until the Dark Slayer is spawned up. Both teams seem to be sort of trying to pressure around this top side of the map. The death time is not quite long enough just yet to mean that it's a safe Dark Slayer if they get a pick at this point, but still, any little helps.
Sam, look, we talked about how big Hualin is at the moment. He has the majority of the gold on his team. He's got 3.4k with only 1 assist, which really shows where the farm is coming from. It's just being placed through these jungle camp clearances, the wave clearance. He's been left pretty stationary up until recently, so he's been able to have that time to farm. In the same way that Zook has been left alone in the lane, except he's had to have a little bit more roaming. He's had a death under his belt as well, where he's been attacked. And this is the problem. Because ST are controlling and dictating the pace of the game, MONORI Bacon are having to just change up everything to keep up with them.
Lover jumping in onto 2. We'll get the knock-up, but Moss has his own.
He's in hot pursuit of the marks.
He's going to be able to get away, but in the mid lane, Hualin able to take down Remix. He's not having a good game at all. Died twice already. Hualin just extending his lead further. Level 11 to, well, max level 9 on the bond on MONORI Bacon, but he is able to pick up a kill, make that level 10. Traded back, Ting might be able to get the kill, and that is a massive punchline coming on through. Able to get the pick off, and they're going to try and turn it on to Sherry as well. The damage from Joker is starting to burn true. Has to ult away.
4-0-0 on Joker at the moment, 3.9k. We often saw that Jokers were falling behind, but he's leading the charge in this matchup. He's close to overtaking Hualin in terms of gold. I mean, he's at 700 off of it, but where the real difference is his impact in picking up these kills.
And they're pushing on down the bottom side. Hualin and Joker just rotating in, getting the turrets where they need to and putting the pressure. Another kill going over in that jungle, and MONORI Bacon. Oh, I think they've left it on too long. The pan's too hot, I'm afraid. You're going to go down and get burned.
Well, pan's not hot. In the form of Ting moving up into that red side jungle. They're looking to take that bot inner tower as they've got a serious man advantage in Lover. He's just going to answer the push from Zuka in the top lane.
It doesn't matter though, because they take an inner turret. I'd take that trade any day. You see Ting just jumping in, leaving the present, jumping all the way back out, disengaging nicely off that one. And just going to rotate into the mid. This is something that ST I talked about when they played before. They're so strong in their rotates. They have the presence on the map.
Oh, Morant onto Scott.
Could be jumping in, trying to go for the upper, has to fade away back to the clone. ST trying to roll on in, and Raz has to dash away, but now it's just Remix left alone. Can't dash over the wall, the range isn't there, and Shanyo finds the pick.
I love that Murad jumped in, an assassin, and he left the engagement with half his HP pool.
Shanyo trying to get jumped on, but he has yet another kill under his belt. Sherry tries to go up into the top lane against Hualin there on the Fennec, but it's not going to go well as Moss falls down on the back line to Lover. Ting dealing out the damage. The final blow, however, is Lubu's.
Yeah, so as I say, Murad, the assassin, jumped in and he did his combo, but he left with half HP and they were barely touched. So wrong target prioritization. You don't want to be going onto Arduin with that.
Yeah, this game is a massive contrast to the game that we did just see. A very quick setup. They've already broken the base at 8 minutes as opposed to the 26-minute slog we had in the end of the last series. So ST showing just how strong the Taiwanese region is.
I'm dreading to think what's going to happen with SMG play.
I'm really looking forward
This
to
isn't even the best team in Taiwan, supposedly.
No, well, it remains to be seen. It might just be that they're sort of very even, but just compared to everyone else, they're just dominant completely. But they're sort of taking a little bit of a pause, a breath of fresh air. They've broken open the middle of the base. They have the top and bottom sides of the map to contend with as well. But Dark Slayer, certainly on their minds. The Abyssal Dragon is up as well.
And Howland should be effectively able to just solo this at this point in the game. He's level 15. So much gold under his belt. Level 15. He's going to be able to take it away. I mean, look at Moss. Moss is still level 9.
Yeah, yet to hit double digits. The rest of his team, though, on those level 14s, level 13s, is level 13 on Scott, but playing as that support tank, that's kind of expected. Still only on that 4.9k, but still has more money than anyone on MONORI Bacon.
Yeah, it's obscene how far ahead ST are at the moment. 13k, nearly a 13k gold lead. Moss does well to dodge that knockup. It might be not enough to keep himself alive.
ST has to, well, jumps onto Sherry and he has to use the ult defensively, but that allows them to start up the Dark Slayer. Those two brawls combined mean that two players are out of the fight. 007 tries to get the ult down, but it's not going to be enough damage. Remix as well just falls to the Dark Slayer, and Hualin claims the credit for the kill. Another ult coming out from Murad, but Ting still standing strong. Did they manage to get the Dark Slayer? They definitely did, so they're going to roll on through. The damage buff will be active. Ting trying to find the long-range poke as Hualin backs him up. I just want to point out as well, the Hualin skin, the little fan on the top of his head does rotate when he walks, and it stops when he stops as well. It's a really nice
interesting attention to detail on that one. At this point, I don't think MONORI Bacon have any method to get back into this game. This is one of the ones where you go, okay, guys, we messed it up this time. Let's focus on the next game.
GG go next.
Yeah, it is literally GG go next at this point. There's nothing they can do. You see Murad diving in, and he can't even assassinate Ting. And he's getting junked every time he does it. Chiri has having to ult defensively. He tried to keep the turret alive. Not going to work out.
Yeah, he's just going to get taken down. 4 players collapsing. They did lose their Hualin, their main, one of their main sources of damage, and Murad will jump on, able to take down Ting as well, and MONORI Bacon finally trying to find something, but it's only going to be Raz who remains standing at the end of that fight. Has got the poke. And they are relatively low on ST, but they are pushing in with the wave. Shanyo could lead the charge towards the core, but Raz will be there to try and turn it down, but the Marks not quite able to pump out enough damage. That's going to be the core. ST with an 11.5-minute game, taking a convincing win in their first game versus MONORI Bacon.
Well, at least we know how Thailand is looking to shape up against Taiwan. It could be very telling about how the next series will go as well, considering this is the second seed against the first seed. And on the inverse, you've got the first seed Taiwanese team going against the second seed Thai team. So it could be quite telling. But it's runs down to that double marksman composition that Samsung TTP are running. It's a variation of what we saw on day 2 when they ran Joker Violet. They got their hands on that.